Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Melanie Josephine. I am a relationship expert, certified life coach and award-winning author. And on this channel, I help you up-level your life massively, especially your love life. But today I thought it would be really interesting if we would talk about organization. I actually really love organization. I love watching organization advice and tips, and here and there I picked something new up. And today, I wanted to share with you what I've learned, what I'm using, what I don't use, because obviously not everything that we hear is right for us. We always have to make a choice on what's right for us, but I thought this might be really interesting for you. So I prepared quite a few things, and I'm going to share how I organize myself. So the first thing I do, I'm going to try to structure this as well as possible. Every single year I get this small calendar from Rimmon, but it doesn't really matter where you get it, and obviously everyone's different. Why am I getting a small calendar? Basically I want a calendar that fits into my purse or a handbag, or like I want something that's small so that it doesn't bother me, like that it's not heavy, or just for practical reasons I wanted something small. And you can see it's like a whole week that you can fit in there, and I actually find that you can fit a lot in there. Obviously if you want to fit a lot, you might have to write a little bit smaller, but I usually start out my year, or even before the year, start out writing all the birthdays in there, any dates that I already know, and then I always put like a little marker. One I put where I am, like which week I am, and then another one I put like in the back of it. I make some important notes for myself, and if I need to refer to those, then I go back to that. So that's the first thing I do. And then the second thing is new. I actually have not done this before, but it's working really well. So I've done it for most of January now, and I'm going to continue to do this. So what I used to do is, like I said, work with a small calendar, but then also work with a to-do list. But what happened was that I would do what was really necessary on the to-do list, and then I would procrastinate on the points that I was not wanting to do, or scared to do, or that would bring me a bit out of my comfort zone. And these things simply would not get done. Like maybe in like a few months, but not at the pace that would actually serve me if I want to be successful and move on with my life. So I did watch some videos on organization and on what I could do about that, and what I learned is that it's actually a really, really good idea. Either every Sunday evening or every Monday morning, what I actually do, I do it either Sunday evening or Friday after I finished all my work, so that I can have that whole weekend off, and I already know at the end of the week how I'm going to start my new week. So that's a good idea as well, if you want to just completely zonk off on the weekend and not think about anything. But then when you open your calendar on Monday, you know exactly what to do and where to start. So at that point, whenever you decide, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, write a to-do list, and then put all of the points of that to-do list in your calendar. And what I'm doing now, I'm actually not using the small calendar for that. I created an electronic schedule on my computer. And the reason I chose that, and this is really the first time I'm doing it, but I'm really enjoying it, it's working really well for me, is because first of all, I type quicker than I handwrite. And if I want to move anything around while I'm in that process, it's much, much quicker as if I need to cross things out, and you know. So even during the week, if I can see like something is taking longer or something else came up, then I can move things around a bit. And it's quite easy. I just copy, paste it to another point. Like I always make sure that my calendar or my weekly schedule has like a good balance. And you might have something on your to-do list that's not for that week. So what do you do with that? What I do is at the bottom of that sheet, I have something that says next week, or you could also write like the following weeks or whatever. It's up to you. You could even put different dates of the week and then write underneath what needs to go into those weeks. Because you're right, not everything might need to be done the first week. And you may want to schedule things for other weeks, and you want to have that overview so that you know exactly what you're doing and where you're going with your schedule. But this has helped me tremendously. And in terms of having a good balance, I think it's important to just start out, try this out, and then see what works and how much you should put into your schedule to have a good balance. Because some of us just overschedule ourselves, others underschedule themselves a little bit, and some people find a good balance. I think it's always good to find the right balance for yourself, because we're all different, but only you can figure that out. But I think it's important just to get started, and then at the end of the week reflect what worked, what didn't work, what do I want to do differently next week or next month. And so that's what I do. I get that to-do list. I also, if I have pre-written any dates in this calendar, this is the first calendar I look at when I create my weekly schedule, put everything that's in that calendar on the weekly schedule, and then add to it, always add to it. And that's a really amazing way to start the week and to really get things done. And sometimes when I say to myself, oh, I think I could get more done than this, it's kind of funny. In a way, I do the reverse as well. I then say to myself, well, you didn't schedule it. So, but the reason this is good for me is because I have a little tendency to overwork. So if that's the case for you, if you decide ahead of time what you want to do, then you can do the same. You can say to yourself, well, this is what I planned. I don't want to overwork myself. I'm just going to stick to what I planned. Now I have some time off or whatever it is. Now I want to let you know a little bit about the different notebooks that I have. I have mentioned this in other streams, but probably not to the extent. So I have, like, almost all of my notebooks are Oxford notebooks, but obviously you choose whatever works for you. But I do suggest to choose notebooks that you really enjoy using, because when you enjoy using them, you'll use them more and you're going to be more organized. So I have all these Oxford notebooks. So this one doesn't have any title because it's my basically anything can go in here notebook. This is mainly the notebook where I write to-do lists, and then also if I want to sketch anything out, if I have any ideas that I'm not too sure about, like anything that I can write it, I can pull the page out, I can throw it away. That's this book for. And I sometimes stick some notes in here as well, just to refer to like things that are important for me. The second book, the second book I want to mention is a study, courses, learnings and ideas book. So these two, with one more that I'm going to show you in a second, are probably the ones I use the most. I introduced this very recently, and the reason I've done this, and I'm actually really, really glad I have started to do this, is because I used to just write all my ideas and things that I've learned in this book, but then when this book came to a finish line, I was always like, what do I do now with those? Like, where do I stick? It was just like scattered about everywhere. And it started to annoy me that I was learning something in one place and then I didn't know where to put it, and I would generally never look at these notes again. And what I do now with this book is that whenever I listen to a podcast or a video series or like whatever I'm learning that's new and I want to note something down, I'm using this book. And I'm writing things like really nicely, and then sometimes I highlight things with these felt pens. And if I want to refer to something a lot, then I also stick some sticky notes in here. And it's just a really great way to have everything in one place and not scattered about. I mean, that's really what organization is all about, to have things in place and you feel like really structured and sorted and not scattered about. So the third one that I use a lot is my scripting book. And why did I dedicate a whole book to this? First of all, I have seen this with other YouTubers that like much later they go back to these scriptings and they see that they read them and see whether they've come true or not. So I want to keep these, so I don't want to have my scriptings scattered about. And then also I find that I'm a lot more intentional and it's a lot more fun to do scripting when it's in one place. I mean, that's me. If you want to have it all in one book, maybe in this book or like whatever works really for you, that's up to you, but I really enjoy having this in that book. So those three are actually the ones that I use the most. And I have a few more that I use occasionally, but I don't actually know if I would do it again. I'm not quite sure if I keep those the way they are now, because I don't really write so much in those anymore. But I have the praise book, like whenever I want to praise myself, I write in there. But I feel like I could have had that together with the scripting. That could be like one, as a suggestion to you if you want to do this. Then I have a book about my future. Why do I have a book about my future? Well, sometimes, especially, wow, I wasn't aware that I've already filled this in halfway. Okay, maybe I am gonna finish this. Like sometimes when I meditate, I get like these visions to the future. I don't know if this is Alexa. So then I always write in here, and I think this is great, especially when you're creating a vision for your future and you want to draw things into your life. But like I said, at the moment I don't write as much in here, but as I just discovered I already have it halfway, I may want to keep going. And then this one, journaling. So journaling, before I created this book, I always did it in here. I dedicated this book to journaling because there was a time in my life, there was a time in 2020 when I felt like I needed to journal more, and that's why I dedicated this book. But right now I'm not journaling as much, but it's not bad to have a journaling book. I mean, journaling generally, whether you do it in the morning or in the evening or whenever it suits you, is just a really, really great thing to structure your thoughts, your mind. Like whenever I struggle making a decision, I'm gonna take out that journaling book and I just journal, or I write out like, what facts do I have? What are the pros and cons? What do I know? So that's how I get to my decisions. And then this one you may have seen. This is my monthly review book. I haven't removed the sticker yet because it's so brand new. I just absolutely love this. So I bought the sketchbook because it has thicker pages and I'm not planning to rip those out. What I write in my review book stays in here, so I love my review book. It's so great. So the review book is all about the monthly reviews. Like every time at the end of the month, I write about the months, my learnings, my challenges, what I'm thankful for, that sort of thing. But I have other videos about that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. This is a new thing that I started in 2020 that I've never done before, but I think it's a great idea. It's my money book. So I write all my earnings. Now this month I also have started to write my expenses. I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing both, but I think it's actually a really great way to just keep up with your finances. You may want to do this digitally. Like, I have this book because as you can see by the amounts of books I have, I like writing things on paper, but obviously anything I'm telling you, you can do digitally, except journaling. I mean, yeah, you can do that digitally too, but people do say when it comes to journaling, it's better to handwrite. Yeah, so it's good to track your finances for many reasons that we're also going to go into detail on this channel. I actually have a video about that, the money mindset video, if you're interested. And then I want to mention these cards. So these are actually too small. I asked my mom to buy me these and I gave her the wrong instructions. If they're bigger, it's actually better. So these are like these little cards that you can write some notes for yourself for the day. Or the other thing I use it for is that if I'm struggling with something and I have like a situation or something that keeps reoccurring in my mind, I write thoughts on here that I want to practice, thoughts that are going to serve me. So as you can see, I haven't done it in here. I've done it in some other books actually, but this is also really helpful when you have something you struggle with and you want to practice a new thought about the situation. If you shove it into your back pocket of your jeans or whatever, and then you pull it out and you just practice it, that's just really helpful. And then the last books that I want to mention, that I've mentioned a lot before, but I like those. One line a day, always do that at the end of the day before I go to bed. Q&A day, also always do that at the end of the day before I go to bed. How does that help me organize myself? That helps me organize, well, particularly one line a day helps me organize my thoughts, because it gives me the opportunity at the end of the day to think about what I liked about today, what I didn't like, and what I want to remember about this day. Because before I started doing this, and this is now my 3rd year, which is crazy, but I never thought about what I wanted to remember about the day. And this is just such a beautiful opportunity to structure your thoughts at the end of the day. Think about, well, yeah, what you've learned, what you like, what you didn't like. You don't have to write all these things. You can just write whatever you want to remember of that day, because it only gives you a few lines, which makes it super easy, because only literally takes you just a few seconds to finish the writing. Let's see, I did make some more notes on this video, and I also watched a few other videos to see if there was anything I could add to this. I wanted to say that with everything that I've mentioned, other things that you could also do is planning, like have a food planning for the week. You could even write a schedule either by hand or on your computer. I actually don't really do that. I might do that in the future. Right now, I'm not cooking for that many people, so but I do think ahead of time what I want to cook, especially when I go shopping, obviously. But it helps, and also I think about what meals can I make that can go in the freezer, because I like to meal plan at least a little bit, and I don't want to cook every single day. So if I make a big chunk of food, and some of that can go in the freezer, but just be aware that not everything freezes well. But things that do freeze well, I tend to cook a bit more, and then I can just have that one meal where I don't have to cook. I can just pull it out. And yeah, I think that probably as as my life goes on. I will probably tend to more meal planning. I have started to watch more meal planning videos and generally cooking recipe videos. I might do one of those. Let me know if you're interested in that. So yeah, I do plan a little bit ahead, but I think I would probably just do that in my mind, and maybe I write that. Like some of the things I do keep on my to-do lists here, and then I go back to that. Most of them go in my calendar, but meal prep, for example, I would write like a shopping list on there. But it's a really good idea. And you could also set like what day of the week or how often you wanna wash your sheets, when you wanna do your washing. I find as most of us are working from home right now, that just with the time that I scheduled for things that come up, that's enough time for me. Like usually if like there's like a pile of clothes and I can see I need to do washing very soon, then I turn the machine on first thing in the morning and then I carry on like as it fit. I mean, I don't mind washing it all. I actually really enjoy it. I love the smell of clean clothes. Oh, I just love it. So that's not really a chore for me. The cat is out the door, I think. Anyway, then oh, you could also put in there when you want to clean. That's a good one, because that's not naturally what we really want to do a lot. So if you have a scheduled time, that's amazing. Or like, oh, I want to mention that when I do my weekly schedule, I do, okay, I'm just gonna quickly let them in. So I do, I also write little things like email deletion, or like things that maybe feel for you too small to put on your calendar. But the thing is, when you do put it on there, also things like how much time do I need driving to somewhere, how much time do I need preparing food, how much time do I need for lunch, that sort of thing. It does really, and now I've opened the door, he's not coming in. But it does really help to not forget these things and stay structured, and I just find that this generally helps. I'm just gonna quickly see if I forgot to mention anything. I think I've mentioned everything. Yeah. Oh, one thing I actually forgot to mention, and this is actually very important. So in the beginning of the year, but you can also do this at a different point if you watch this at a different point, in my monthly review book, or any book that you choose for yourself, I write my general plan for the year. I write my dreams, goals, but also holidays. This is really important, because I think if you forget to plan this out, it can be, yeah, not so good. I write all the holidays that the ones that I know I definitely want to do, the ones I'm not sure about, roughly when this could be, and also like my financial goal of the year. Yeah, I just sketch that all out in my monthly review book at the beginning of the year, and that helps me to keep the overview of what I want to achieve this year, and that's just a really good reminder, and I really enjoy that. And yeah, so I'd be really, really interested if you do some of these things. If so, which ones do you do? And do you have any other tips, advice? I'm always open for more organization tips. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos. I'm sending you lots of love from London, and see you in my next one. Bye!